We just got some very interesting information and news about Wind Waker 2, or a sequel to Zelda Wind Waker. Of course, right now, Zelda is basically the big talk of the season at the moment because we have Ocarina of Time coming out very soon. We have rumors of other Zelda games dropping in the near future, maybe next year or the year after to follow. I am still convinced that after Ocarina of Time and Nintendo, sees the reception to that game, I think we could be getting a Majora's Mask remake, kind of in the same exact style or sense of Ocarina of Time. But this Wind Waker 2 information is very interesting. So right before we do hop into it, subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers. Let's see if we could hit today's goal of 30 subscribers. We have never gone that high, so let's see if we could break a record today, but let's hop right into it. All right, so Wind Waker 2, it was real. This was a real game that they were planning on releasing. Right here you can see the article saying Wind Waker 2 was in development, but it was scrapped for a more realistic game. So we're going to cover the development of this game plus the game that they decided to drop instead of Wind Waker 2, saying that Games Radar has been digging through the archives and came across one of Aonuma's Game Developers Conference from 2007, during which he revealed that the team were working on a sequel to Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Sadly, the project was scrapped due to the reception of the original Wind Waker in North America, where people wanted a more realistic looking Zelda game. The game turned out to be Twilight Princess. Here's what was said. First of all, I just want to quickly mention how kind of ironic and funny it is that now Wind Waker, people absolutely love this game. People love the art style and have so much nostalgia for this game. It's just really interesting and very funny to see how people's minds change after things have just kind of lived for a bit, like had time to simmer and sit. And you look back and you're like, yeah, that game was actually pretty good. Or the graphics, were very unique. Wind Waker's reception in North America, in quote, saying, at one point, I heard that even Wind Waker, which reached the 1 million mark in sales, was quickly losing steam, and that things were sluggish, even in North America, where the market was much healthier than in Japan, Aonuma said. I asked Nintendo of America why this was. What I was told is that the toon shading technique was in fact giving the impression that Zelda was for a younger audience, and for that reason, it alienated the upper teen audience that had represented the typical Zelda player. On Wind Waker 2, the proposed setting for Wind Waker 2 was not on the sea, but on land, which sounds pretty obvious to do that for a sequel, but is pretty cool. I like that idea. The desire to depict Toon Link on a horse riding around the Great Plains was great. However, his small stature and short arms and legs, it would have been difficult to make him look good on a horse. It wasn't like we could create an adult version of Toon Link, and that was about the time where we've heard people were waiting on a realistic looking Zelda game again. Then 4 months later, development had progressed to a point where Link could swing his sword in battle against enemies while riding on his horse in a realistic looking world. When it was announced with a surprise trailer at the 2004 E3, it received a standing ovation by the media audience. This was a very exciting moment for us, but we were still in the early stages of converting the game into something more realistic. We knew that we had to create a Zelda game that would live up to the expectations of fans in North America. It could mean the end of the franchise, but also trust the ability of the team, which was able to bring the game so far 4 short months. So yeah, this game was gonna happen, and now in the modern day, honestly see this having kind of a resurgence. Zelda, I think, is in a spot or in a place where pretty much any big game that they're gonna drop is gonna do well. Breath of the Wild really has pushed Zelda out to more of a general audience, and because of Breath of the Wild, a lot of people have gone back to the older games and found appreciation for them. And now, like I mentioned earlier, Wind Waker has a lot of praise in the modern day, so a Wind Waker sequel would probably do well. I've seen a lot of people also say they just want like a whole remake of Wind Waker, so I could definitely see them doing that, and I kind of feel like they will do something with Wind Waker eventually again. Zelda news right now, it's gotta be my favorite topic. Let me know how you guys feel about Wind Waker 2, and do you think it was smart that they did scrap it for Twilight Princess? Let's start off with Splatoon Raider, saying that it has topped the Japan physical charts as Mario Kart World and Tomodachi Life pass major milestones, which is awesome. This is a spin-off game, of course, saying that it was released on July 23rd, and now it has already sold about 475,000 physical copies in Japan. Once again, just showing these companies that we need these physical copies and that we want physical copies of video games. Like, sure, gaming is gonna always be around, but they probably will see some type of decrease in the volume of overall sales if everything is digital. I think that just goes without saying, right? Mario Kart World has now broke that 3 million sale milestone, and this figure does not include copies that have been directly bought from the eShop, but it does include the download cards, pre-installed software, and bundled software. So this will include the copies of Mario Kart World if you had one of the first waves of the Switch 2 consoles. And as well as that, Tomodachi Life has now passed the 1.5 million copies. If you wanted to take a look at the whole list entirely, here it is right here, the top 10. This is gonna slap Sony right in the face, which we will talk about that Sony issue in today's video. So yeah, definitely stick around for that. We will probably talk about that near like the middle / end of this video. Ironically enough, more Splatoon news. So Splatoon 3 Summer Nights 2026 Splatfest has been announced. The question is, would you reserve a day for a palace, a theme park, or a beach? Which, let me know what you guys would pick. I'd probably do theme park or beach. And this event will take place the weekend of August 21st. And now we do have the official announcement that Mario Sunshine is going to be live on the GameCube NSO expansion August 13th. So this is big. Of course, everybody loves Mario Sunshine. This was part of, the Mario pack from a couple of years ago, which I regrettably did not purchase that. Should have totally got that game. But it's pretty cool to see that it now is going to be on the Switch Online Classics, and there will be more to come. The GameCube side of things for the Switch Online is growing a lot, and I think that's probably the console that I would say a majority of people are excited about and want more games for. So I'm really excited about this. Let me know if you guys are going to be playing, and what other games do you want to see be added to the GameCube stuff. I do think Pokemon Colosseum will be added shortly, and by shortly, I don't exactly know. I'm going to say within the next, I don't know, year, maybe. I'm thinking probably Pokemon Day of 2027, or maybe at least close to that day. Hopefully they will announce that with some sort of Pokemon Presents, but man, they have Gale of Darkness. So where is Colosseum? Man, it needs to happen. I mean, it's gonna happen. We just don't know when. And they also did add 2 Virtual Boy games on here, being Zero Racers and D-Hopper, making their debut over there. So I feel like most people don't really play the Virtual Boy stuff as much, which makes sense. I mean, the first time that console dropped, it was not a success, and it's just an odd console, but that's part of Nintendo history, man. Nintendo history, so many weird oddities that makes the company what it is today. So I'm always glad to see them add these games to the Nintendo Classic. I just can't wait to see what they add, and maybe the other consoles potentially being added over with the Wii and the DS era. I feel like they will add those during the Switch 2 lifespan, but I kind of feel like they're going to be waiting maybe a few more years to even think about doing that. But I've mentioned before, the Wii side of things, like the Wii console, would be pretty easy for them to add. The DS is where the issues would arise because it's a dual screen. They'd have to make some sort of feature to where you could just see everything on one screen and like somehow pop up a second screen on the first screen, if that makes sense. Or just give us that dual screen attachment, Nintendo, and don't charge us an arm and a leg for it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of the new games being added. Reportedly, there's a Lego PlayStation coming in October with a limited time Astrobot set. So the Astrobot is apparently going to be a gift with purchase, and it's going to be joining the 1,911 piece set. I just love that it is a official Lego product. I think that's going to look awesome. I probably won't be buying it. I like the idea of it, but I'm really curious to see what the Astrobot gift with purchase is going to be, because I think Astrobot is probably the best thing Sony have done in many, many years. And now let's talk about Sony. So leading us right into more PlayStation stuff. So apparently the CFO says that they have no plans to reverse the physical games decision, saying there are various reasons why we made this decision, the biggest being that the digitalization of content overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just for PlayStation, but for all kinds of content. Digitalization is progressing. She doubles down by saying it again. And so when we think about the future and we put a lot of thought and time, we cautiously considered this, and we came to the conclusion that we're gonna cautiously move forward and to the decision. We have also received various opinions and people have strong views. We understand that the community has put forth those views to us. Games are loved by many people. It's a form of entertainment that's loved by people, and it's connected to people's fond memories in many cases. So we understand those emotions. We want to consider that, and the future of the digital ecosystem, how do we engage the gamers, is something that we would like to continue to explore. So this is an L. Sony, just stop, bro. You guys need to give us this physical media again. I have heard many people say they are done with Sony, that they're not going to support them, and honestly, I don't know if I am going to either, just because I don't want to have to be paying maximum dollar for every single game I'm buying, because believe it or not, guys, I purchase pretty much all of my games pre-owned, with the exception of some things, you know. There are definitely games that I'm gonna have to buy on day one, like Ocarina of Time is gonna be one of them, Pokemon Winds and Waves. So the point is, you know, people save a lot of money by buying pre-owned games rather than buying them digital, and you already know they're gonna still be charging probably $80 or $70 for these digital games. Like, they're not gonna be cheaper. There's no way that they are gonna go cheaper. And even think about in like 10 years from now, those digital games that are 10 years old are still gonna be the exact same price as they were when they dropped. Whereas if I'm buying a pre-owned copy of, I guess you could say, Astro Bot, the physical game that they did release, I know they dropped the game that, you know, came with the PS5, but they did drop another game, if you aren't aware. I could buy a pre-owned copy of that for a lot cheaper rather than if I'm just gonna buy it physical. Even with Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops 2 that just dropped on the PS5, you can buy a physical copy of that for, you know, the PS3 or the Xbox 360, and it is a lot cheaper than buying the digital version, which is $40, I believe, and that doesn't even include like any of the DLC or anything additional. And the servers are still up for, you know, Xbox 360 and PS3. And the worst part about that is that the PS5 servers are still being hacked for Call of Duty. So it's kind of like, what's the point, you know? I think this could genuinely affect the future of Sony. In the eyes of some people, the physical and digital media conversation is just kind of like boring or lame or just, you know, like, who cares? You know, physical, digital, whatever. Listen, I get it. If people like digital games, that's totally fine. The reason people are upset is only because of the fact that it is being completely taken away from them, rather than being given the option to go digital or physical, if that makes sense. Think about the new gen of Xbox and PlayStation. They have a console that has a disc drive, and they also have one that does not have a disc drive, but at least at the end of the day, there was a decision to be made by the person purchasing that, right? So it's not that big of a deal, and like, that's understandable, because if there are people that don't want to go physical at all, and they genuinely do want to go digital, then they totally can. Or if there's a person that still likes physical and still likes some digital, they could still play the physical games, you know? Also about, you know, collecting, having an awesome collection of some games, or being gifted something rather than just being gifted a code or like a gift card or something to download a game. Like, you know, your birthday or something, you get a brand new video game. Maybe your parents worked so hard to get you that video game, or your friend worked so hard to get you that video game, and they want to see you unbox it. You know, that's the type of thing that's gonna be going away in the future. So I don't think we know what Xbox are doing at this exact moment with that digital and physical media. I'm pretty sure a couple years ago they did say they were gonna go fully digital, but I almost think that they're gonna change their minds just because of what people have been saying about Sony and Nintendo. I think they're gonna continue to do what they're doing, physical media and digital media, giving us the option because they are seeing a big amount of sales with physical media. So let me know what you guys think. I honestly didn't even mean to rant about this that much during this video, but I totally want to know your thoughts about this because I know you guys have great opinions, and honestly, everybody's opinion is valid. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Hope you guys have a fantastic and a blessed day today. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.